AAA games have been spending more and more time and money to make the greatest graphics possible, yet they somehow forget to make the game actually fun. In my last video, I talked about the games that thrived without amazing graphics, so in this video, I wanted to focus on the opposite. Lucky for me, terrible games with amazing graphics have somewhat become the industry standard. The obvious example would be Forspoken. This game looks great. Shooting things, colors flying, who wouldn't want to play this?
Did you not just see me take out that gnarly beast?
Oh, well, maybe she gets better?
You're the Tanta Slayer! The savior of Are you the Tanta Slayer?
You got the wrong girl.
Maybe the gameplay's fun? Okay, graphics can only carry your game so far. It can get people super hyped for your game and get you way more attention than you ever could without it. But once they play it, they're just super disappointed. Like with Cyberpunk. Yes, the anime was... but when the game first came out, it was unplayable. The amount of games that come with an apology a week later is getting way out of hand. While art is a good thing to have, the game itself arguably is more important. And I'm not just saying that because I'm bad at art. I actually just hired an artist for my robot survival game. So while he works on how the game looks, I thought it would be a great time to work on how my game feels. For example, in real life, if you get stabbed, you know exactly when and where you get stabbed. It just wouldn't feel right if you were stabbed in the back and the only thing you noticed was your health bar went down. Not that getting stabbed in the back would feel great, but I think you get what I'm saying. Some games will have amazing graphics, but have no player feedback. And the same thing goes for when you hit things. If you run up and punch a tree and it doesn't react to you at all, that feels terrible. This can ruin any game, no matter how good the graphics are. So that was one of the first changes I wanted to make. I took a look at what Valheim does for this, and the answer was adding more screen shake and using Unity's particle system. I've already added the tree shaking, so I decided to make some particle effects. Now, I'm no pro at this, so I started with making something simple, a basic smoke cloud on impact. This took a few iterations. I wanted the smoke to appear exactly where you hit the tree, so I couldn't just have the tree spawn it. Instead, I have the tree call on the object that hits it, in this case the punch, and has that spawn the particles. This works great. Well, if you line it up correctly. I had to add a way to track the direction it should move, but once I added that, it did work great. All that was left to do was have the tree spawn some smoke and leaves when you break it, so it does more than just disappear. I'm sure I'll come back and improve these particles later, but now that they're set up, that'll be super easy. Next was to add feedback for when things hit you. Right now, all it does is decrease your health bar. I started by making a simple red vignette that flashes when you get hit. This was a good step, but it still felt very bland. I wanted to make the player shake like when you hit the tree, but this didn't feel right. So instead, I made the screen shake. After some tweaking, this started to feel much better. Another problem games run into nowadays is the insane spec requirements you need to run them. If you aren't spending thousands of dollars on a brand new PC, good luck hearing this girl's snarky remarks and fighting the same enemy over and over again. You're lost, peasant. My game already has things that really drag on performance and need to be fixed before it gets way out of hand. The main one being the grass. If you've been around my channel for a while, you might remember I made a whole video about just getting the grass to work. We'll throw that video out, it's useless. Previously, my world was generated using a mesh, and then I would individually spawn every grass object onto that. Well, I finally went through and changed the code to generate a terrain. This means I could just paint the grass on it, and even with way more grass, the performance improves by about 40 frames per second. The only problem was, this means there was grass everywhere, including the water. I spent ages trying to fix this. Huge shout out to Space Dave from my Discord for helping me out with this one. Link in the description if you want to join that. And maybe hit the sub button while you're down there? Anyways, after realizing my detail layer and height map had different sizes, I finally got the code to work just by dividing by 4. It still doesn't work perfectly, but it's a good start. And because it is a terrain now, I can do the same thing with other decorations like flowers and bushes without tanking the FPS. I just duplicated some code, and now the world has way more personality and improved performance to go with it. Another huge benefit from doing it this way is I can easily check and update grass based on where items are placed. Before, when you placed items, sometimes grass would be sticking right through them, or it's just all over your house. With this new code, I can pass the position and scale of the placed object and update the grass based on where it is. Now your house is grass free. Minus it clipping into the terrain, but we'll get that fixed soon. But also when placing items, it removes the grass around it. This is super cool. I could technically make it so when you pick up an item, it restores the grass, but I think it makes more sense if it never grows back. Grass dies really easily. But speaking of placing things, I wanted to add more emphasis to placing new objects. Right now they suffer from the same problem the trees did, there's just no impact. You interact with them, but they just pop into the world. To improve this, I added a small animation so it stretches and squishes. I personally like this way better, but let me know what you guys think. It wouldn't be too hard to change. There is still plenty I want to improve, like adding a pop-up for why you can't place things, fixing animations, and outlining objects on the ground. But this was good progress for getting back into it. Oh, you wanted to see the new robot? Here he is. Really puts my guy to shame. I haven't decided if I'll keep the hands or not, mainly because I don't know how to rig them, but let me know what you guys think. I'm very excited to have a real artist on my team now. This way I can focus more on mechanics and make those way better while also getting the benefits that come with better graphics. Sorry I've been bad about uploading recently. I've been building a deck, and that takes all my free time. But it's almost done now, so things should get back to normal soon. So see you guys next time.